Welcome to my critique of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the sequel and technically the fourth entry in the revamped series of Planet of the Apes films. This new chapter began over a decade ago with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, followed by Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, a personal favorite, and culminated with War for the Planet of the Apes in 2017. With Disney's acquisition of Fox, Planet of the Apes was earmarked for expansion, stirring both anticipation and concern among fans. The previous trilogy was so expertly crafted that it felt daunting to conceive how any continuation could measure up, especially in concluding Caesar's saga. Which characters will take center stage in this installment? Will the narrative pivot to Cornelius, Caesar's son, as the primary protagonist? Or will the story leap forward in time, or perhaps undergo a complete reboot? The decision to maintain the continuity of the previous three films while propelling us centuries into the future is a notable one. In this future era, Caesar's name, teachings, and legacy have spawned diverse factions among the apes, each interpreting his words in their own way. While some adhere closely to his ideals, others manipulate them for their own agendas, as exemplified by the character Noah. Does this fourth film uphold the narrative quality of its predecessors, or does it falter? Are we poised for a promising future for the franchise, or do we lament the departure from the original trilogy? Let's delve into it. Starting with the positives, the decision not to continue directly from the conclusion of War for the Planet of the Apes is commendable. By skipping ahead and not focusing on the surviving ape characters or Cornelius, the film offers a fresh perspective. While audiences possess a comprehensive understanding of Caesar's journey through Rise, Dawn, and War, the significant time gap leaves us playing catch-up, piecing together how this world has evolved in the interim. The story unfolds against the backdrop of Caesar's passing, exploring the aftermath and the evolving dynamics between humans and apes. A significant portion of the film revolves around the mystery of what has transpired since War for the Planet of the Apes. Meanwhile, the characters embark on a quest to uncover truths about Caesar in the past, creating an intriguing interplay where audiences, armed with prior knowledge, await the characters' discoveries. Additionally, the film delves into the manipulation of Caesar's teachings by different factions, touching on broader themes without overtly commenting on contemporary issues. This exploration resonates with topics like religion or politics, where interpretations of shared information vary widely. Some apes revere Caesar's legacy, striving to uphold his teachings, while others, led by the antagonist, distort his words for personal gain, reflecting historical patterns of manipulation and power struggles. Echoing a recurring theme in the franchise, the narrative illustrates a cyclical pattern where apes, now in control, exhibit behaviors reminiscent of humanity's downfall. This observation underscores the complexities of governance and the inherent flaws in power dynamics. Furthermore, the film maintains the visual excellence of its predecessors, with seamless CGI and performance capture, solidifying its position as a benchmark for the realistic portrayal of animals in cinema. This ensemble cast, mostly comprising lesser-known actors, delivers outstanding performances. Kevin Durant stands out as Proximus, the film's main antagonist, portraying a complex villain with charisma rather than relying on typical villainous tropes. As Proximus's character is further explored, Durant's portrayal becomes even more captivating, revealing his true motivations and his desire to shape both his and Caesar's legacies. In a year where Kevin Durant has already impressed in Abigail, his performance here solidifies his talent, along with Dan Stevens, who also delivers a compelling performance in 2024. The film maintains an immersive experience throughout, with seamless CGI that brings the apes and their world to life. While the score may not reach the heights of its predecessors, it effectively complements the emotional depth of the scenes, incorporating nostalgic elements from the classic Planet of the Apes series. Moreover, the film's use of humor is skillfully executed, never feeling forced or out of place. Even in its darkest moments, such as in War for the Planet of the Apes, the humor adds depth to the characters and enriches the overall narrative. In Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, characters like Bad Ape offer moments of levity that effectively alleviate tension during crucial scenes, adding a refreshing touch of humor to the narrative. This comedic relief is particularly notable in an era saturated with Disney Marvel-style humor, where the balance often tips towards excess and awkwardness. It's a testament to the filmmaker's skill in integrating humor seamlessly into the story without overpowering its thematic depth. Hi movie buffs, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, share, and bell button. It's free and it really helps. You'll be notified of each new recap. Now, turning to a more nuanced aspect of the film, we encounter the character of May, the central human figure. Without delving too deeply into her role to avoid spoilers, it's evident that May's character evokes multifaceted emotions from viewers. On one hand, her aspirations and actions align with human interests, especially given the oppressive regimes established by certain ape factions. However, her character also elicits a sense of ambiguity, particularly when juxtaposed with the more empathetic ape protagonists. This deliberate ambiguity in May's characterization adds depth to the narrative, yet by the film's conclusion, I found myself grappling with unresolved questions about her motivations and decisions. While this intentional narrative choice may enhance complexity, I prefer a clearer resolution regarding the character's arcs by the film's end. Now, turning to the film's drawbacks, it's important to address this from the outset. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes doesn't quite match the stellar quality of its predecessors. However, this isn't to say it's a failure by any means. I found it to be an enjoyable continuation of the franchise, and I'm genuinely excited about its future direction. Nevertheless, it's crucial to temper expectations. If you go in expecting it to reach the same heights as Dawn or War, you might find yourself somewhat disappointed. For me, what holds it back from achieving the same level of excellence as its predecessors is the characterization. This is admittedly a high standard to meet, especially considering the iconic status of characters like Caesar, portrayed by Andy Serkis. There's a strong argument that Serkis' portrayal of Caesar ranks among the greatest movie characters of the past decade, and it's challenging for any film to match that level of impact. However, I approach this film with an open mind, appreciating it for what it is. The character of Noah, while serving as our entry point into this world, lacks the commanding presence of Caesar. He comes across as a younger, more naive character driven by a mix of adventure and a hint of vengeance, with elements of a coming-of-age tale. However, he doesn't quite capture the audience's attention in the same way Caesar did. Even the supporting characters fail to leave the same lasting impression as Maurice, Rocket, or the villainous Koba. Koba, portrayed brilliantly by Toby Kebbell, remains a standout character, overshadowing Proximus, excellently portrayed by Kevin Durant. Although I do find the characters in this film likable, there's a persistent feeling of something lacking throughout its 2.5-hour duration. It's as if there's a missing edge to the character development that prevents full immersion in their stories. Furthermore, the pacing feels somewhat awkward at times. This may be partly due to the significant time gap between this film and its predecessors, which presents its own challenges. The initial portion of the film, spanning the first 30 to 40 minutes, is primarily dedicated to reintroducing us to the world and its various ape factions. Consequently, it takes a while for the main conflict and plot to fully unfold. Even as the plot gains momentum, there's a noticeable slowdown in the second act. Unlike the previous films, there's a lack of intense tension and urgency, which somewhat dampens the overall impact. However, despite these shortcomings, I never found myself bored or impatient. The film manages to maintain engagement throughout. Ultimately, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes serves as a decent introduction to the next phase of the franchise. I believe its value will become more apparent as future installments build upon the foundation it establishes. Overall, while I enjoyed the film and am intrigued by its future, I caution against setting overly high expectations based on the previous films. Thanks for watching. If there's anything you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.